All right, let's dive in. Imagine you're sitting across from me, coffee in hand, and I'm about to spill the kind of story you just can't make up because trust me, if I hadn't lived through it or seen it unravel, I wouldn't believe it either. So picture this. A polished, wood-paneled courtroom, air so tense you could slice it with a butter knife. And there's this pregnant woman 7 months along sitting at the plaintiff's table, back ramrod straight, hands clutching the edge like she's bracing for impact. That's Jessica. And let me tell you, if you've ever thought strength meant never bending, you've never seen a woman hold herself together at the end of her marriage, especially when her soon-to-be ex is sitting across the room, looking like he's auditioning for the cover of GQ. Daniel, her husband, is stone cold, jaw set, suit tailored to perfection. Picture the kind of guy who thinks a smirk is a power move. And beside him, not even trying to blend in, is Victoria. She's younger, a head-turner in a scarlet dress that screams, "I've already won." That smile she shoots Jessica? It's the kind that's less about joy and more about twisting the knife, you know? Yeah, that happened. Now, here's the kicker. The judge, a woman you don't mess with, is holding a sealed envelope. Not just any envelope. It's got the results of a DNA test that's about to blow the doors off more than just paternity. You can feel it, the hush, the silent war being fought right there on that courtroom floor. Everyone thinks Jessica's done for. She looks down, feels her baby kick, and wonders if this is what rock bottom feels like. But right as the judge starts to open that envelope, Jessica's world spins. Spots in her vision, her lawyer shouting her name, and then she's out. Collapsed. You could hear a pin drop as paramedics rush in. But Daniel, the man she once planned forever with, he doesn't move a muscle. Not even a flicker of concern. If that doesn't sum up the last year of her life, I don't know what does. You gotta back up a sec to get the full picture. 8 years ago, Jessica and Daniel were the dream couple. Her, an architect with big ideas. Him, hustling up the ladder of his family's real estate empire. They built a life, hosted dinner parties, bought the kind of house you see in magazines. Then Daniel's father died, and something changed in him. He got colder, obsessed, like he was trying to outrun a ghost. At first, Jessica brushed it off, was grieving. He was busy, he'd come around. But the distance grew, and suddenly she was managing the house, smiling for the cameras, and wondering when her marriage had turned into a business deal. The signs were their late nights, business trips that stretched for days, a phone that never left his side. She found an earring in his car that wasn't her, she said. It was his lawyer's wife's, and somehow she almost bought it, until she realized the look in his eyes wasn't confusion, but contempt. Like she was stupid for even asking. It all unraveled the day she found his phone buzzing with messages from Victoria. Months of messages, pictures, promises. The kind of betrayal that doesn't just break your heart, it hollows you out. She confronted him, and he didn't even apologize. He turned it around, blamed her, said she'd let herself go, wasn't supportive enough, you know the script. And just when she thought things couldn't get uglier, she told him she was pregnant, hoping, stupidly maybe, that it would matter. It didn't. 2 days later, divorce papers. A week after that, a formal accusation that the baby wasn't his. Now, back to the courtroom. Jessica wakes up in the courthouse infirmary, her lawyer by her side, the memory of that envelope burning in her mind. She's barely had time to breathe before Daniel plays his next card, gets the court to freeze all their assets, cuts off her cards, leaves her scrambling to cover groceries and rent with money borrowed from her retired parents. It's financial warfare, plain and simple. He's betting she'll give in, take the first lousy settlement just to survive. But you know what? That's when something snapped. Her little sister, Megan Sharp, no-nonsense nurse, calls her up and says, "Don't let him do this, Jess. He's got secrets, they all do. You just have to turn over the right rock." And man, did that light a fire. Jessica teams up with Olivia, her whip-smart lawyer, and they go on the offensive. They dig into Daniel's business, his family, everything he tried to keep locked away. Turns out, Daniel's father, a man who built Collins and Son from nothing, wasn't just a hard man. He was a man obsessed with bloodlines. But there was always something off about Daniel's relationship with his mom, Eleanor, who all but disappeared after her husband's death. One memory stands out. At Arthur's funeral, Eleanor grabs Jessica's arm, whispers, The foundation of this house is built on a lie. At the time, Jessica thought it was grief talking, but now it feels like a roadmap. So, they push for another DNA test, not just for the baby, but to compare Daniel's DNA to Arthur's. Daniel's lawyer calls it a ghoulish fishing expedition, but Olivia argues, if blood matters so much for Daniel's child, shouldn't it matter for Daniel's inheritance? The judge agrees. The subpoenas go out. While they wait, a forensic accountant tracks Daniel's money. Turns out, he's funneled millions into a shell company in the Cayman Islands with Victoria as the beneficiary, planning to leave Jessica nothing but debt. Classic. Meanwhile, Jessica reaches out to Eleanor. After a few tries, Eleanor finally breaks down and admits the truth. Arthur was sterile. He arranged for a donor, a business transaction, so he could have a son. Daniel never knew. The empire, the fortune, all of it rests on a lie. Court day comes. The tension's electric. First, the judge opens the baby's DNA test. Daniel is the father. His lawyer tries to spin it, but the smug look on Victoria's face falters for the first time. Then comes the big one, a Y chromosome test. The judge reads it out. 0 matches. Daniel isn't Arthur's biological son. The room erupts. Victoria turns on Daniel, hissing, "You're nothing. You have nothing." She storms out, and Daniel snaps, tries to lunge at Jessica, only to be dragged back by the bailiffs, suit and dignity in tatters. Olivia steps up, lays it out for the court. Daniel inherited a fortune and a company on the premise of being a blood heir. He's not. Everything he's claimed, everything he's spent, it was all built on fraud. The judge doesn't miss a beat. The trust sues Daniel for fraud, the board kicks him out, and Jessica is awarded the assets Daniel tried to hide. Daniel? He's left with nothing but child support payments and a new reputation as the punchline of the city's latest cautionary tale. Jessica takes her settlement, sells the cold, empty house, and starts overbuys a piece of land by the ocean, launches her own firm, names it J. Collins and Son, reclaiming the name on her terms. Her first project? A warm, inviting home for her and her son Andrew. It's not about revenge, Anna Marie, it's about building something honest, something real, on a foundation that's finally the truth. And if you're wondering if justice was served, or if maybe the public humiliation went too far, well, that's the debate, isn't it? Sometimes, the only way to break a cycle of lies is to shine the brightest light right where it hurts most. Jessica didn't just win a court case. She tore down a fortress of deception and built something better in its place. If this story hit you, if you've ever felt cornered, underestimated, or gaslit, drop your thoughts below. What would you have done? Was the judge right? Would you have stopped before the big reveal? Or do some people only learn when the whole world's watching? Hit like, share it with someone who needs a reminder that truth really is the sharpest sword, and subscribe for more real-life reckonings. Because, trust me, these stories are happening everywhere, sometimes just behind the next closed door.